Recently, we have served multiple clients with one common question. So we get asked, the question is that, what do I need to upgrade? This is the first question. And the next question people is asking is, what is the hype and concept of asset progression? So, I just want to stay in this forever home and retire where I don't really care lifestyle or facilities. So the key thing here is that I would totally think like them and agree if I was not an agent, because the idea of having a forever home is honestly very comfortable. I don't know if you guys agree. So now that being an agent, right, and understand the intention and concept of asset progression, I can't wait for my own HDB to MOP, and I'm definitely going to upgrade to a private property next. So the question is it for lifestyle? Is it for the facilities? Is it for those that are good to have, in my opinion? I mean, my kids, my wife would definitely love it. But for me, my actual intention of upgrading would really be for asset progression and for savings. So I have shared this perspective with many clients, those that got enlightened and can totally understand the importance of upgrading and asset progression. So here's the question for you guys. Okay, so today I would like to share it with all of you here, and I hope that it can help you gain a new perspective. And that's what I'm asking for. So let's start by asking, do you want to continue working after retirement? This is the first question you guys gotta think about, right? Honestly, who wants it? Even if I want to work, I want to be working for passion and not for working just to make a living. I think there's a big difference over here. So you see, the truth is what? In a recent HSBC survey, it states that 6 in 10 Singaporeans are expected to work after retirement. So that is more than half of Singaporeans. And do you fall in that 60% or not? The survey also identified that Singaporeans, on average, thinks that USD dollars 936,000 is the right amount required for quality retirement, and that translates to $1.2 million Singapore dollar. So the top goals for retirement is financial freedom. So the financial freedom is to do what you want and not needing to worry whether I have enough money to last me until I die. So some of you might be thinking, no lah, I don't need $1.2 million to retire, right? So that's where you might not have considered what we call inflation. What is inflation? So by seeing your chicken rice, back in 2000, it's about $5, and today where we are, 2025, roughly about $6.50. In the future, it will go up to $22, and this is what we call inflation. So this is something that whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not, with the same inflation rate over the next 25 years, our $6.50 chicken rice is projected to be $22 in 2050. Here's a table to help you determine how much you need for retirement. So let's just assume if you are 40 years old, okay, and plan to retire at 60 years old over here, and you need to save enough by 60 so that you can last you until the age 85 years old. Okay, so if you need $2,500 per month in today money to retire, so due to inflation, that $2,500 needed would now be $3,715 per month for your spending power to be the same in 20 years time. So, and to last 25 years, you will need $1.1 million. So if you're thinking you don't need $1.2 million to retire, it's equivalent to saying that you don't need the $2,500 today, if you understand, and you have to make sure that it is enough for your family, right? At least for me, I know that this is something that I would like to consider it, right while I'm still working, because I want to ensure that me and my family have a quality retirement. So I think the question to ask yourself is this: do you have what it takes to retire comfortably? The key word is comfortably. For me, with a family of 5, okay, in case you guys do not know, I have 3 young girls, right? And who knows, maybe I got 2 more coming. But if I'm going at least, to have 1 yearly trip to Japan, I definitely would need more than the $2,500 per month, which means I need more than $1.1 million to retire. So now going back to the question, do I need to asset progress and upgrade? The short answer is no. Right? So you don't need to. The more important question you need to be asking yourself is, do I have a path to get the $1.2 million or the sufficient amount I need for retirement based on this table? So if the answer is no, then I think probably property asset progression could be a way of achieving that. So this is why, okay, more and more Singaporeans are shifting from HDB to condo, right? And more people are upgrading to a bigger asset class, and some even buying two. Alright, it's not really about the lifestyle now, but rather the lifestyle at retirement. So let me share a example on what we meant by asset progression, alright, and how it can help you to retire when you have a sum of money. For that, I will need to show 2 scenarios. For example, the first scenario that we are looking at. Okay, let's say today, we call this scenario do nothing. Let's imagine if you're 25 years old, right, with a BT of 500k, right, at the age of 30 years old when you TOP, okay, you finally moved in and you stay there. So what happened is that at 35 years old, the property is going to worth about $900,000. So, you can sell it for $900,000 for a 400k profit. It sounds reasonable, isn't it? What I have then very conservatively assumed is that every year it grows by just 3%, which is aligned with the average GDP, CPI, and inflation of Singapore. So by 55 years old, let's fast forward, your property will be $1.5 million. And I said very conservatively because for those who know, HDB property tend to face what we call lease decay. And also with the shift from SURS to VERS, assuming the price will continuously still grow at 3%, to me that is very conservative, right? We are thinking things on the bright side. So now let's imagine the same thing, okay, in scenario 2 today, which is what we call asset progression. At the age of 35 years old, so what happens is that once you MOP, you cash out on your initial 25% down payment along with your 400k profit, and then you go and take a 75% loan to buy a $2 million property over here. Alright, so in 5 years, at 40 years old, assuming the same 3% growth, okay, you get a 300k profit based on this. And like I said, we are being very conservative. And also cash out on the 525k equity from before, okay, to buy a $2.8 or $3 million home over here. So if you do it all the way until you're 55 years old, by then, let's fast forward, okay, what we are saying is that you should be able to cash out about $3 million on equity. So that will allow you to buy back the same HDB that you sold at $1.5 million above, but the difference is that you still have $1.5 million as a retirement pot. So of course, some of you right now might have questions. So for example, the first question people ask me is, but I have to be able to take a larger loan, right? Then the next question people ask me is, but I never considered the higher interest cost, right? It is true, right? I can say you guys are true, but I also did not consider all your monthly repayment to the bank, which has a principal portion, and that is what we call equity for savings, isn't it? So I consider a 3% annual growth rate, which some might argue to be conservative. So the point here is this: we always guide our client to take a loan that is conservative and safe, and we will never encourage over leveraging, because this is very dangerous. So the concept I would like you to take away here is this: upgrading and asset progression will help you build a retirement pot. Before you start rushing to sell your current place and upgrade into any bigger or better property class, you must first understand and know the property market in the next 5 years. So in the next 5 years, most likely it will not be as forgiving as the past 5 years. In fact, if you look at just the past 2 years, there are multiple 5 years old projects, large development projects, that have declined in prices. So I won't name you these projects here today, okay? So if you're interested, you can let us know. We are more than happy to show you guys. So if you're interested to find out how we select the right project, okay, and properties, regardless of new launch, post-launch, or resale, we have looked through hundreds and hundreds of projects with many years of data point and multiple data points to identify the most important factor that can provide you with a safe entry as well as a strong exit. So let me briefly share with you what our MAPS framework is all about. So if you have any project in mind that you want us to run through with the MAPS framework, you can just comment below or join us in our TeleGC, because our investment team will do it for you, right? FOC. Okay, so the question is, why am I sharing this with you, people? The reason why I want to share this with you is because I realized that there are a lot of people out there who could have taken action in the past but were sitting on the fences, and now that they want to do it, like I mentioned to you, they realize that the age is catching up. They have been priced out of the market, and the worst thing, they are stuck. That's why I do not want this to happen to anyone else along the way. So if you want to find out how you can plan early on your asset progression journey and make the right choice, selecting the right safe project, let us know. We'll run through your financials for you, understand your situation, plan your progression, and shortlist the best selection through this MAPS framework. Right? Most important is, here in KOL Real Estate, we aspire to be different. Okay, we want to equip our clients knowledge and know-how, share with them what are the facts and figures, and enable them how to make the right decision for themselves. So we don't push you, we sit with you, we plan your progression with you, and we analyze what truly fits with you. So that's all we want to be, your partner, not your salesman. So we also publish videos to help all our clients out there make clearer, make safer decisions every week. So if you find what I have been sharing with you so far very helpful, right? Please give us that heart shape. Join us in our TeleGC and share this live with your friend. Like our content, subscribe for more.